Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the flock rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. So the Ravens win 23-7 over the Jaguars in their house in prime time. Hell of a win. Kind of a weird game. We'll get into all the details here in a second. First, I want to shout out the removal artist. His guess was 269 total yards for Lamar, and Lamar got 268. I replied to your YouTube comment, so just hit me back and I'll shoot you $50. But congrats to you. And let's dive into the game. So we'll start with the bad news first, and that's Keaton Mitchell is done for the year after a terrible knee injury, and that sucks, man. Prayers up for Keaton Mitchell, and it sucks for him after what he went through earlier in the season, and just to make the team, you know, being an undrafted rookie, getting a chance in Baltimore, showing out. He's really just shown up every time he's been in the game, every time he's gotten a chance, all through preseason, all through training camp. He was banged up for the first part of the year, comes back in the heat of the regular season, and is our best running back. It wasn't even close. I mean, he made the most plays by far through that stretch, and it's just terrible that he has to go out like this. It's a big loss for the team. So we're going to have to just go running back by committee, I guess. I did like what I saw from Gus and Justice Hill later in that game, but Keaton Mitchell was the guy. He was definitely playing the best out of that group. So hopefully those guys do step up a little bit. We got Melvin Gordon coming up from the practice squad. So it's going to be Gus Edwards, Justice Hill, Melvin Gordon. Justice Hill obviously does play a little bit like Keaton Mitchell, so we still have that speed, quick cut, burst aspect to our run game, because Melvin Gordon and Gus definitely don't bring that at all, really. But this is our running back crew, man. We're not going to really get anyone else. There's no, speed guy out there available, so this is who we have. And we could bring in another vet for the practice squad or something, but they're not going to have the elusiveness and speed of a Keaton Mitchell. We're not going to find that out there in free agency this late in the season. But definitely sucks. Just wishing you a speedy recovery, Keaton, and hopefully you're back next year with this team and balling just like you were this year. All right, enough of the bad news. Good news is we won the game, and we established the run game. I've been calling for this for a few weeks now, and I feel like we finally got back to the run, at least just committing to it, even from a play calling standpoint. Obviously, the issues of the line and the issues of not committing to it from a play calling standpoint leads to a weaker run game. But we really committed to it this game, especially in that second half. We really didn't have anything going in the pass game. Lamar was able to make some plays downfield. He kept a lot of plays alive with his legs. He ended up having 97 yards rushing. Keaton Mitchell added another 73 on the ground. Gus Edwards with 58. We had 251 team rushing yards. We only had 171 passing yards from Lamar. Isaiah Likely led us 5 catches, 70 yards for receiving, and a touchdown. Rashad Bateman was our leading receiver, finally, but it wasn't much. 3 for 39, which is kind of like his normal production in a way. The weird thing is Zay and Odell. Zay gets 1 catch for 7 yards, ripped to my fantasy team, and Odell gets 1 catch for 14 yards. So that was the odd part, but when you commit to the run game, have 250 on the ground, seems like that's the script. It seems like that's where they put their point of emphasis just based on the Jaguars defense. We weren't able to get a lot downfield. Lamar was holding on to the ball for quite a while, and the line did all right. I definitely think Ronnie Stanley was getting beat again quite a bit. He got a concussion later in the game and didn't return. Morgan Moses is not himself, so our line we got some issues. We got some issues on the line. But Lamar was able to really kind of feel that pocket. His pocket presence was all time. I do wish he made quicker decisions sometimes. I feel like not every play he has to hold on to the ball that much, but I feel like he gets in this rhythm where he's kind of expecting to hold on to it or something, and he feels so comfortable that he can keep the play alive, and falls into that. But he does keep the play alive for the most part. He had that one really bad decision on the interception. I know he didn't see the guy coming, but he threw back across his body when he had an easy first down throw, and those are the ones that you have to just take that easy first down throw. Stop trying to do the spectacular to get an extra, 10 yards, At that point, take the first down, because throwing back across your body to a guy, 10 yards more downfield is just not worth it. But I'm sure he learned that after it got intercepted. I know he didn't see the defender, but I'm just saying throwing across your body is never as smart as just taking the easy check down for the first down. I think it was likely out in the flat or something. But other than that, Lamar played really well, kept a lot of plays alive. He had that one crazy play to avoid the sack. Kind of a reckless throw, that jump ball to Likely, but panned out, and I'm all for giving playmakers a chance, and I would consider Isaiah Likely a playmaker. He's gaining confidence week after week and is stepping into a premier role in this passing game. And as long as Andrews is out, I don't think that's going to stop. I think Likely can continue to grow in this role, and we're actually really blessed to have such a talented backup tight end, because losing a guy like Andrews could be disastrous for an offense, and it really hasn't been. So good game from the offense. The stats aren't going to blow you away, especially the passing stats, but our rushing stats were phenomenal. 250 on the ground. Lamar did it with his legs. Keaton Mitchell was balling. I hate that he's out, but I love that we committed to the run game, especially in this style of a game. It was kind of a defensive field position game. That leads me to the defensive side. I feel like this game kind of shouldn't have been that way, this defensive field position game. The Jaguars were really moving the ball up and down on our defense. They missed 2 field goals in the first half. Lawrence just dropped the ball in the red zone and gave us the ball back. And then at the end of the half, shout out to Marcus Williams, who tackled him inbounds, but at the end of the half, they couldn't get out of bounds with no timeouts, and the clock ran out. Those are 4 scoring plays that would have made this game a lot tighter and obviously swayed the momentum one way or another. They had that one huge play to Agnew, 65-yard touchdown. That's Lawrence's longest passing touchdown of his career, and it was basically as soon as Marcus Williams left the game. He's day-to-day, by the way, so I think Marcus Williams is good. But as soon as he left the game, freaking Arthur Mollett lets Agnew go by thinking he has safety help, and it's blown coverage. There is no help, and Agnew goes for 65. I thought the game after that even, I think it was 10-7 after that, was going to continue to be close, but the defense did step up. I feel like they did a great job. Something happened to Lawrence later in the game. I think came out after they had a concussion, which is really concerning because he was moving his arm or something. I thought it was some kind of nerve when he got hit by Roquan, but guess it was concussion. But they just were not able to get much going. We finally stopped the run game. ETN was getting a lot of burst early in that game. Our run defense has been very spotty throughout the entire year, so I'm not mind blown. I said this in the pregame. I was like, ETN scares me a lot because our run defense is just not consistent. It shows up in moments when we put all focus on it, but it seems like every time we start a game or something, the other team's able to run at will. So that was happening in the first half. The Jaguars are really moving the ball. They didn't have some things go their way with the field goals and the fumble and the halftime. And I feel like if they would have scored on 3 or 4 of those scoring plays, this game is a totally different game and we're in a nail biter. We weren't able to get a lot of pressure. I know Lawrence was throwing pretty quick, but we're not having a lot of guys win their one-on-ones right now, which is slightly concerning. But shout out to Justin Madubuike, 11 straight games with at least half a sack, ties an all-time NFL record. That's crazy. He's balling. I really hope we can hold on to him, franchise him, do whatever you got to do to fit him under the cap, because I think he's our best pass rusher, which is crazy coming from the interior, but he is our best pass rusher, and our pass rush is still solid. I don't want to sit here and just gripe on it. I just wish we had some guys really winning their one-on-one battles and becoming dominant, and we really don't, unless it's a schemed up blitz. You go here, I'll be open, that type of thing from McDonald. And there's nothing wrong with that. I definitely love that we can scheme it up too. I do wish we had a rusher that just took over and doesn't need the scheme, you know what I mean? I wish we had a Myles Garrett or a Watt or whoever you want to talk about, some dominant pass rusher. We got 1 sack in that game, and it was Matabike's sack, so shout out to him. That's a huge record, and he's having a freaking insane season. But overall, win's a win. We clinched the playoffs. That feels good. But let me know your guys' thoughts about the game and some of the injuries and just your confidence moving forward with this team. Obviously, we're 11-3. We clinched the playoffs. We're still in full control of that number 1 seed, so I'm feeling confident about it. Losing Keaton Mitchell sucks. That definitely hurts, but I definitely am feeling good about this team and where we're headed. But as always, I appreciate you guys tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.